need a beat.
Whoa. Hey, everyone, welcome to the Fifth Quarter Fantasycast. We're just three white guys who pop up after a really hardcore rap song plays. So welcome in. We're glad to see you for our continuation of the preview as we creep toward your fantasy season. My boy Fonz today came up to my desk and stood right next to me at about 8:37 a.m. and he said, "Did you know the Hall of Fame games next week?" And I was like, "Good morning, Fonz. Great stat."
Good stuff. Hey, I like the Fonz. Well, yeah, having a good week. Made a trade this afternoon. Had about 3 gentlemen callers calling for the Sun God at one time and settled on JSN and a 2028 first and a 2028 second and a 2026 second. And then I tried to trade with Peepaw and it didn't work, but it's still sitting there. So
we're still working on it.
So it's not dead yet, apparently. So that's good. And I wasn't trying to trade with Vinny. His team's too stacked, and there's nothing I don't want to make it out of control. So anyway, thank you to all of our viewers for joining us today. My name's Dr. Dry. That's Coach V. And then we have Peepaw. Praise Peeps, baby. Anyway, yeah, football is back this week, Thursday night. We have the Hall of Fame game. Get ready to watch 5th and 6th stringers from I want to say it's the Chargers and the Lions. Is that right?
Pause. Did Fonz say it was next week or this week? Because he's going to be a week late if he tunes in next week.
I think he had it right and I got it wrong. So whatever one is the correct one, that's the one Fonz says, because he's been giving me like countdown alerts since June. He's like, link week till the NFL. He loves it. He's waiting on Marcus Mariota to make his big comeback. He loves that guy. It's gonna happen.
Does the Fonz tune in to Fifth Quarter Fantasycast? Is he part of FQF Nation?
He's aware of Fifth Quarter Fantasycast, but Fonz doesn't know how to use a smartphone. So to explain the concept of the podcast is a little difficult.
We all have our weaknesses. It's fine.
Because he asked if we were on the radio. No.
He thought we were successful.
He said, if y'all were on the radio, I would listen.
Okay.
So close.
We almost had our 49th subscriber. So anyway, well, excited to be with the boys again. And I will be going to the Hall of Fame on August 10th for the Fantasy Football Expo for the 3rd time in a year, the 3rd time in 3 years. And one day, if we get big enough, we'll have a booth there too. So anyway, I'm just there for all the free shit that they give out. So so that'll be fun. Maybe I'll get a T-shirt, wear it the next week. So anybody have anything fun happen in their fantasy football leagues this week?
Mine got renewed, if that's cool. If you're into that kind of thing. So
that is cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. We're still trying to kind of roll things out and keep things moving. But I heard you're also doing autographs at the Hall of Fame game.
I am.
Or when you go?
Actually, I'll be out of town. I'm going to Chicago on business for like a day. So that'll be cool. But yeah, basically we made a trade. I did have a league renewed as well. And what did we do? So it was the church league. So I usually come up with a churchy name, and I came up with the Miami Miracles. So they've got like the real Miami Vice colors and looks really cool. Probably will have the best name in the league this year again. So unlike last year, I was the Houston Holy Spirits. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're all excited about football being back. So coming to the stage, we are going to be doing our AFC East and NFC East preview I call it our fantasy forecast, where we go team by team. We'll start with the New England Patriots. Rest in peace, Aaron Hernandez and all of his victims. Too soon. But anyway, yeah, what do you guys think about the Patriots heading into the 2025 season for fantasy?
I think it's a grab bag of things. I mean, I really like what Drake May was putting together last year as a rookie. I think he's still got a lot to prove in year 2, but I like what he was doing. Stephon Diggs, we covered him a little bit last week in the Draft Me Daddy section of the show, so we got touched on him a little bit there, but he'll be a good veteran presence at least for Drake May out there. And they added the backfield, Trayvon Henderson, so kind of got a little bit of backfield going on with between him and you've got Ramondre Stevenson. So we'll see how those two play off with each other, but another addition out there in the wide receiver room is Mac Hollins. So Drake May starting to get a little bit more pieces put together for him. I'm honestly really hoping good things happen for him because I really liked him coming out of college too.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm still trying to decide if I'm in on Stephon Diggs or not, but I'll tell you about a guy I've drafted everywhere, every single rookie draft. Kyle Williams, can't get enough of the kid out of Washington State. Dude, they drafted him in the 3rd round. He looks the part. I think they're waiting on that like real receiver to come in. I know Stephon Diggs is there now, but he's old, right? So we'll see about Diggs, but Kyle Williams is my deep sleeper. I don't think you're taking him anywhere in season long, but great, 2nd, 3rd round pick over in dynasty leagues who haven't done their rookie draft yet. Trayvon Henderson, I see him as being an RB1, maybe hopefully this year, and it would be probably back end, but he could definitely break fantasy. Whenever it comes to receiving out of the backfield, if he stays healthy, he's got a different level of speed. I think he's the complete package. I'd put him up there with Omari Hampton. Very excited about Trayvon Henderson. And then other than that, I mean, Dre is definitely an interesting guy. If you miss out on quarterback or you're waiting for a long time, you can still get a very quality quarterback in Drake May. Excited to see what they do under Mike Vrabel as well. So I hate Ramondre Stevenson. I know he had a case of the fumble Rooskies last year, and hopefully that continues so we can just get the real running back the ball. And anyway, that's my thoughts on the Pates. Pipe.
Yeah, they ended the season on a high note, which is nice to give momentum into the new season. And that seems to have lasted throughout the offseason with Mike Vrabel taking over, and everyone's very positive on Drake May. My hope for the Patriots is that they become more consistent and Drake May continues to develop, because I think like Demario Douglas has been like a player people have always flirted with, had him on their bench, waited for something, there's been promise, and then it kind of falls off. So I would love to see him become someone who's like week in, week out consistent. So, maybe people aren't focusing on him with Diggs there, and he's really the one who's going to shine with the, because I'm pretty sure he's pretty young. He's 20 years old. So there's guys coming out from their, college draft who aren't that much different in age. So I would like to see, what is his, Pop Douglas? Is that his nickname?
Pop, like Peepaw, but like younger.
Pop.
Exactly.
Instead of a grandfather, he's like their dad.
So yeah, that's who I'd be watching. And like, I don't know where he's going in drafts, if he's getting drafted, but if he's not getting drafted, maybe he's like a first week, second week waiver wire ad that ends up paying a lot of dividends down the road.
Yeah, so you heard it here, Pop Douglas, Kyle Williams, great like last round picks if you want to go ahead and secure them. But that is our view of the New England Patriots. Next, we have the NYGD Jets. The Jets have been crashing for a while, but they have a new quarterback at the helm. We had him on Draft Me Daddy, Bench Me Daddy segment. And I believe we were all in on him. We had to talk ourselves into it, but and we had a little scare of our baby boy earlier this week, but he is okay. We do have Garrett Wilson out there. We'll see if Breece Hall, he's in a contract year, so who knows? I've heard 3-man backfield, but I really hope that's not the case because I really do like Breece Hall. Want to see him put it all together. One piece that I'm excited about, again, I'm going to talk about a rookie that isn't on anyone's radar, but Mason Taylor out of LSU has all the makeup, has the draft capital, taken in the second round this year. Who else are they going to throw the ball to? Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Mason Taylor. He's going to be one of their few options. I think they might still have the Lizard King on the radar on their roster. So I mean, yeah, the Jets. I don't know, not very excited about them, but they do have a couple weapons, a little more than people would think.
Yeah, they do still have Lizard King out there. The really outside of Malachi Corley, was he the one last year who walked into the end zone and dropped the ball before he hit the line?
He was my darling of 2024, and I took him everywhere. And he had his one shining moment, about to score a touchdown, and he fumbled it right before.
And he'll never do it again. But
because he'll never see the field again. So
exactly, I would like to see him maybe get out there and do something, earn a little more trust. But Garrett Wilson, how many years have we been saying that, hoping he actually strikes gold? I mean, he's due for something to happen good to him. So looking for Garrett Wilson, but with the quarterback like Justin Fields, I feel better with Garrett Wilson with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, someone who's not as mobile, which is why we were so high on Fields last week, especially in the 2 QB leagues, because of his dual action threat he's got. So Justin Fields, like I said last week, probably is the only guy I'm going for. If I can get Garrett Wilson at a good price in the draft, good capital, I'll go ahead and snag him. But really, lot of question marks around them. They do still have a good defense out there, so if you're into defensive leagues, perhaps look that way.
The more I look at like this Jets roster and Justin Fields, the less I'm excited. It's kind of feeling like Justin Fields with the Bears, where it's like we have this talented guy who can do some things, but he doesn't have like the environment around him to be successful. Because when you just look at like, where's he going to go with the ball after Garrett Wilson? Is he just checking down to the backfield, or he's lighting up the tight end? So yeah, and I feel like with Justin Fields, he needs more support. He needs more targets, just more diversity out there, diversity, equity, and inclusion out there for him to do the best he possibly can. And so yeah, I don't like. I think before we started talking, I was higher on the Jets, and now I just like went a few notches lower on the Jets.
It went down faster than that plane. Hey, nice pootskis. All right. Next, we have the Miami Dolphins. In this picture, we have Tyreek Hill and some of his children. So there's more. Anyway, Miami Dolphins, interesting team. I think we're less excited about them than we were last year. And basically basically they had their target hogs gone. Jonnu Smith, he's back in a relationship with Arthur Smith, and they have a family together. And anyway, so he is out of Miami, freeing up a ton of targets for exactly everyone who you think should get them. So Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Achane, I think he's an awesome back to own. He had his frustrating times last year, but whatever. He's fast and strong and nice. So anyway, afraid to take Tua still because he's one hit away. It could be really bad. So anyway, really more excited about Jalen Waddle. I feel like he's in a bounce back spot. I know he was someone that we've been excited about the last couple of years and kind of been let down. He did have a ceiling of wide receiver 8, maybe 2-3 years ago. So would love to see him get close back to that. And Tyreek Hill, you never know. He could have another one of those blow up seasons. There's targets to go around.
Do we think Tyreek's going to stay on the team with the start of the season?
I don't know. I traded him to Vinny in one league.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting if the offensive line can hold up, protect Tua. I think we have a decent shot with the long ball game between Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Obviously, everyone's got to stay healthy, and Waddle has been always hit or miss with his injuries throughout the years. Devon Achane, I think now that we have Raheem Mostert out of there, finally, I think we got a good shot with Achane doing something good. I've had him past couple years, and I've really liked everything he's put on. So happy to still have him in several leagues, keepers and dynasties. So happy about that, and be interested to see what new kind of play calling they come up with this season with some twists and turns and flashy plays with all the speedsters they got out there.
And Jalen Wright, I think if you're going to do any handcuffing, I think he's the handcuff. He's fast too. He's good. I don't think he got enough run last year because they wanted to give it to Raheem Butthole Mostert. Anyway, I think he deserves more of like a change of pace for when Achane gets tired. But Achane's the man. Hopefully, he continues to get that usage.
Yeah, Miami's been such a disappointment past couple years. Mm-hmm. Most of it's just because it all hinges on Tua, and they can't keep him upright. So I'm okay with Tyreek Hill. That's why I traded for him. That's my old man team anyways. So I'm just collecting old dudes and just trying to see what we can do with old guys. But, like, I'm okay with him as a Dolphin. I'm okay if he becomes, like, a hired gun. Like, I think of him as, like, DeAndre Hopkins who's hopping around, except still a lot more, like, in the tank than D-Hop does. So, like, if he goes to a contender, cool. I think give him a week or two, and he's, like, producing maybe better than he was with the Miami the past few years, especially with bad quarterback play. And then I really like Jalen Wright. Like, I think he's cheap. You can get him, and he's an injury away. And Achane's had some, things, and without Mostert there to take some of the load, who's going to do that? And we also saw 2 seasons ago, Miami was able to have 2 fantasy relevant running backs with Mostert and Achane. So maybe Jalen Wright's a good pick, and that's why I also traded with the Doc for Wright. I don't even remember what we traded for. I think it was just draft picks or something.
Like a second or a third. I can't remember.
So I was happy with that. And so, yeah, I think the Dolphins have some fantasy players that maybe were a lot more expensive last year that are a little bit cheaper because of the bad season.
I think that's definitely the case for Tyreek this year. I think his draft capital is going to drop, probably slide depending 10 or 12 man leagues, probably 3rd round easy. Yeah, so he's got a good ceiling. Obviously, we know what that is, but if Tua's not there, we saw what that is last year also. So be a risky pick, but if he's still there and you're sitting in 3rd round, I'd be hard-pressed not to take a look.
Under the hood, definitely.
They've been working this offseason, haven't they?
Yeah.
That summer bod in shape. We got the Bills up next. Everyone's darling of the division here. So Joshua Almighty King Allen at quarterback. James Cook still at running back, hanging out there with Keon Coleman. I know how much, someone here loves Keon Coleman. Rock on. And Dalton Cade, we'll see what he can hang out and do this year. And I wouldn't think anything else other than Allen putting up another stud of a season this year. So looking towards him and Keon Coleman take that 2nd year leap. But what you guys think?
I don't know what to think of I know that they win, but I feel like they have so little fantasy relevant players, You got Josh Allen, who everybody should definitely trade for. Anyway, Josh Allen, number one quarterback in the nation. Other than that, I mean, he's got Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir,
who was surprisingly consistent last year. He was very, very consistent.
I think he's a good mid to late round pick. Khalil Shakir would be the direction I go, rather than Keon Coleman. I think Keon Coleman just disappointed. If you had him last year, you're probably not taking him this year unless he's on like a dynasty squad or a keeper squad. So, other than that, one thing I'm avoiding James Cook. I think he's due for touchdown regression this year. I think he scored more touchdowns than he ever has. And I don't think that keeps up. So I do see him kind of coming back because I don't think he's that great of a back. I know he had a lot of big plays and everything last year, but I think it was a fluke season. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but he's someone that I'm definitely cool on missing out on. And I'm not sure, is he still holding out or holding in?
Yeah, he's still holding out.
Nice. So look at Ray Davis on the cheap. He did very good in the times that he was on the field last year. Sweet baby Rays. He's got the sauce. He's got that barbecue sauce, and he'll turn you into barbecue chicken if you let him, MF.
They do have Josh Palmer also. They picked up. If you're in that kind of thing.
Sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bills have been like the same fantasy team for like 4 years. Well, ever since Diggs left. It's been Allen and Cook, and you can't like get anything else out of anybody. Like, because I mean, I was like looking because when you said like Shakir was consistent, I was like, oh, well, what does that mean? It means like consistently 12 points. Like, which is you'll take that. Like,
I'll take that.
Like, especially like when you got guys who are putting up, zeros and sevens and stuff like that. So consistently 12 is okay, but like. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about like your best receiving assets on the Bills are going to give you consistently 12 whole points. The Bills are just a frustrating fantasy team to like deal with unless you got Allen and Cook and Doc's like, hey, maybe you don't want Cook this year.
Yeah, it ain't sexy, but it's flexy. So you can put him in your flex. Don't have Khalil Shakir as your wide receiver 1 or 2. You did something terribly wrong in your draft if that's the case.
I mean, he's a solid. I would take him as my flex position. I think I would do that every day of the week.
Yeah. You're not mad if your flex gets you 12.
No, not at all.
All right. Well, we have another ad this week. We have a new sponsor. So yeah, take a look when you're driving around town. You might see this fella moving about the roads, taking care of business. And so, yeah, check him out.
Hey, folks, Mark Holloway here from Get Her Done Disposal. That's right. Give old Mark a call and tell him where to go, and your junk he will throw at Get Her Done Disposal. You got junk, I got a truck. At Get Her Done Disposal. Grab you a handful of Chex Mix, and your junk problems Mark will fix. Get Her Done Disposal.
How many how many packs a day does he smoke?
Mark looks like he smells like shit.
I'm not sure if he's smoking the cigs or if he's just crushing them and rubbing them on.
Exfoliating.
He's getting the nicotine through the skin. It's like a nicotine patch, but like he doesn't want to buy the patches, so he just crushes it.
If you could smell a photo, it's Mark Holloway.
I mean, if you don't mind Mark Holloway pulling up at your house to pick up some stuff. Now, like, if you need him to go, like, in your house to, like, go get a mattress or something, I don't know if you want him in your house. You might set the mattress out front.
Yeah. At least he sounds smart.
But, yeah, Mark Holloway. Thanks for the ad. We'll take the revenue. We don't care who it comes from. So we're always looking for new sponsors.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Getting back into the swing of things here. So we have the NFC East.
Yeah.
And yeah. And if you know what that acronym down there stands for, it's hold me now. I'm 6 feet. Yeah, that's the whole. But that's Scott Stapp from Creed. So anyway, yeah, very excited to preview the Dallas Cowboys. Superfan Matt tuning in today with a WTF and a happy face. Glad to
He's a
see
fan
you.
of Get Her Done Disposal. I think he said he uses them.
Yes, get her done disposal. So so anyway, glad Superfan Matt is here for the first time this season. He's been out of state the last couple weeks and out of pocket, but we are excited that he is back. Bringing the comments, bringing the people to our channel. So anyway, Dallas Cowboys. They had a really good acquisition. I was hoping that they would actually address running back a little bit better than they did. I was really hoping that they would go for like an Ashton Genty or Amarian Hampton or Travion Henderson or something like that. But we got Jaden Blue and we got Javonte Williams. So good luck choosing between those two. And it's hard to know which. I have shares of both, and I don't know how I feel about it. But I'm in there. So I'm in the arena with the Cowboys backfield. Now, probably not. I don't know. They're probably late round picks in season long. I am excited about George Pickens, and I'm excited about Dak Prescott. CeeDee Lamb, I think, is going to bounce back with a vengeance. But I think George Pickens has his best year yet. I think he goes over 1,000 yards. I think Dak Prescott can definitely support two fantasy relevant receivers. We haven't seen that since who was that toothy bastard that used to be on there? What was his name? Calvin Austin? No,
Miles Austin.
Miles Austin.
I think they've been mentioned twice already, just in these fantasy previews.
Yeah, we love Miles Austin on this channel. Takes me back to the Tashard Choice days when we used to mess with his Wikipedia page. So yeah, very excited about George Pickens mainly. We know what CeeDee Lamb is. I saw Turd Ferguson just recently got a contract. Yeah, Turd Ferg back in the game. So, but yeah, when Dak Prescott's healthy, he usually throws for 4,000 yards or more. So, anyway, excited about the Cowboys a little bit.
If Dak does get hurt, they now have slinging Joe Milton, who can't hit anything downfield at the quarterback position. So, that's, I guess, a good thing, I guess. The running back room just kind of confuses me. Jerry's off his rocker. He skipped his glass of warm milk before bedtime. Don't know what to say about that. Running back room is just a muck. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, Miles Sanders, if you're into that kind of thing too. But wide receivers, we'll be interested once again, another wide receiver room with two potentially number one wide receivers. We'll see how that combo pairs out. Love to see CD do his stuff. I just feel bad that he's on the Cowboys. I just despise the organization for what it's worth. But I think that Jerry's still blinded by the light that was shining in the stadium. They can't figure out how to put a blind up. But, really that's all I got to say about it. It's a muck.
Dang.
I think the Cowboys are going to have a great. I think the Cowboys receiving core is going to have a great fantasy season. I think we're going to see what we saw 2 years ago with the healthy Dak, except just more because now he has more weapons. And I don't think like CD takes a hit with the George Pickens. I think it just gets bigger and they both, get to rise higher. And so maybe they just get to just not, they've been trying to be like this running team with all these years. Maybe they just abandon that entirely and the running backs become somewhat irrelevant, and it really just becomes throw the ball 50, 60 times a game. And so if you have CD or George Pickens or even the Turd or Jalen Ferguson, like I just combined Jalen Tolbert and Turd Ferguson into
That was
Ferguson.
Sounds like a created player.
Yeah. Turd Ferguson. I love saying that. That is just fun to say.
There's a second Turd Ferguson in the league now, but I'm the only one who's said it. But Terrence Ferguson, he's Turd Ferguson Jr. to me. He's a rookie. He's out of Oregon, and I forget where he landed. I think LA Rams. Turd Ferguson Jr. So be on the lookout for him.
TFJ. So yeah, that's your Cowboys in a nutshell in the Turd shell.
It looks like an obituary picture again.
It kind of does. Yeah.
Well, who needs an introduction with that? That man is big time retired, but who isn't retired is the stud wide receiver they got in Blink Neighbors. Man had no quarterback last year and still put up a stellar season. Wouldn't think would do anything less this season, albeit Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart at quarterback, but I still think they get him the ball. He's going to find a way to get it. I just hope he can stay healthy the entire season because we know how many hospital balls he got thrown last season. Got banged up a couple times, but man powered through. So love seeing him out in the field and what he can do, playmaker like that. I'll be interested if this backfield is similar to Atlanta last year. We had a veteran quarterback, rookie quarterback backup. See when Jackson Dart gets that start. I don't see Russell Wilson starting the whole season, similar to what kind of happened last year in Steelers. Quarterback room will be interesting. I'm not taking either of those guys. Blink Neighbors, probably the only guy I'm taking on that offense if I had the opportunity to.
Yeah, I don't hate Tyrone Tracy. I feel like Cam Scatterbo's gotten like a lot of attention, but I think it's still Tyrone Tracy's backfield, and he had some really good games last year. I don't know. I mean, we saw Russell Wilson might have enough juice with the Steelers last year. He showed flashes of doing some things, but it's still Russell Wilson, and it's still a pretty bad team who I think just like from coaching down is having some troubles. Like just leadership is off. There's something off because they can't seem to get it together. They, especially like when they were looking all right, and then they gave what's his face his new contract, and he went to shit, and they lost Saquon, and so yeah, it's been a kind of a mess. So I feel like top down, there's some problems that like a quarterback's not going to fix, or we brought in this cool running back, it's not going to fix it. So I just don't feel good about it, and I kind of am scared for Neighbors, like you're saying, like getting hurt, getting just thrown into some bad situations, because he seems like the guy who's going to like ball out no matter what, kind of like Saquon was for them. And we saw like how good that was for like Saquon's overall like health and career.
Yeah, I love me some Neighbors. Best Neighbors I've ever had. Feel comfortable taking him in the first round, take him with confidence. And watch out, if he gets Jameis Winston as his quarterback, he's gonna throw for 600 yards, and Malik Neighbors is gonna catch 533 of them. So yeah, we forget about Jameis Winston, but that would be the best outcome for fantasy is if Jameis Winston was the starter. Unfortunately, I think they kind of see him as like the third option there, and he's hilarious. But yeah, Malik Neighbors to the moon with him. I know he's got like a little, I think it's a little shoulder issue right now. He's also had a toe issue. But I mean, he had Danny Dimes trying to kill him all year, just with shitty throws and things like that. So anyway, yeah, I think, again, good point, Superfan Matt. I think Cam and Tracy mostly split. I think they do bring unique skill sets. Cam Scattaboo is not someone that I was really drafting. I feel like he's kind of like a good college player. Not sure how it'll translate to the NFL. Sort of like that creepy mustache man in NCAA basketball, Adam Morrison out of Gonzaga. Awesome college player, but he didn't do shit in the pros. So anyway, so kind of like that, but less creepy. But yeah, the Boo. We'll see what happens. I do like Chiron Tracy. I liked him a lot last year. Had a few fumbling issues, but he's still a sweet baby.
I think if he solves the fumbling issues, I think he'll have more of a lead in the backfield. But I wouldn't be shocked to see the Cam Tracy split either.
Yeah. But yeah, anyone else I'm excited? I don't think there's anything else I'm really. But Jameis Winston, like Malik Neighbors would go crazy if that was his quarterback. So anyway, yeah, I don't think they have anyone else that's very good.
Oh,
Donkey teeth. Well,
we got the Eagles here coming off a championship, and Donkey's teeth are those are.
They're beautiful.
Does he got beautiful veneers? Are those veneers? He's got veneers, right? He chose. Oh God. He went in and he asked them to give him donkey veneers. Like, you have a choice, and he was like, "Give me the donkey ones." Like, that's how fucked up he is. Like, anyways, Philadelphia coming off the Super Bowl, they're really just reloading and running it back. So, Hurts avoided the tush-push ban this offseason that I feel like is getting closer and closer every offseason, like when they vote on it. So I don't know how much longer that's going to last for him. But I feel like Barkley owners were kind of hoping that the tush-push ban was going to happen, and then it didn't. So Barkley owners took a hit with that. Hurts owners get a little plus. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess my question is there anything different to talk about, or is it really just the same players that we talked about last year?
I mean, it is a lot of the same stuff. I think one note, obviously winning the Super Bowl, you have a tougher schedule. They do have one of the top 5 toughest schedules in the league. So I think that'll really test what they had last year. I mean, really, like you said, it's just a building up from what they had last year type situation. So not much new, and you're still taking your same guys that you took last year.
Yeah, not much of an update here, I guess. It's I'm trying to think. I thought there was someone new, but there's really not that I remember. So Eagles defense should still be pretty good, I think. So
Absolutely.
Maybe the defense. And we forgot to mention Brandon Aubrey when we were talking about the Cowboys. But yeah, I mean, Saquon, he had heavy usage last year. If you do count up his, I'm sure it's over 400 once you count up playoffs too. But yeah, I'd take him as my 4th running back off the board. Just a little worried about that usage, and he does have an injury history. So, but other than that, pretty awesome. And the guys I'm putting ahead of him are Bijan, Gibbs, and apparently it's pronounced Bajan. I saw that he corrected some people this week. So Bajan and Gibbs and Genty, those are my top 3. Saquon's a strong 4 though. And let's see. Now Brown and Smith, those are your pass catchers. But yeah, Matty C, just he's avoiding those 2. I mean, depending on cost and everything, I think that's where I'm comfortable taking them. Is just like, does it make sense? What else is on the board?
Yep.
Is there anything with higher upside? I think they have high floors. And Jalen Hurts, I think Jalen Hurts is a pretty consistent top 5 quarterback for fantasy, just because of the tush push, the rushing upside, all that's still there.
I think most of those guys are situational, depending on where you land in the draft and who's around and what your squad looks like. I mean, none of them are sure takes. Really, just kind of evaluate it as it comes.
Yeah, definitely not. I'm not out on them, but I wouldn't call myself completely in.
All right, last of the teams here, Commanders shocked everyone last year with their performance. So I think everyone was kind of rooting for them as the underdog. Jane Daniels shined. We'll see if that's something that he can continue in year 2. They did add or subtract, depending on how you look at it, Deebo Samuel to the offense. Scary Terry sitting out there, wide receiver as well, had a really, really good year last year. And then Austin Eckler had here and there type situations last year. So all in all, I mean, I think they have a pretty decent year. I don't know if they can repeat last year, but I think they will have a good year. I still think they'll come behind Philadelphia. I don't think they'll be too far behind, though, in the grand scheme of things. I think they have a lot of talent. Obviously, it seems everyone's bought into the coaching staff and what they got going on front office. So all of that's good to see, and just hopefully they can keep things rolling there. I think it's definitely possible to see it.
I think, I think they do keep it going. I mean, they're definitely kind of thin at wide receiver right now. Deebo, I know he's healthy, but I feel like he's injured, even though he's not, because he just gets hurt so much. And if you watched Receiver on Netflix, then you saw how much he gets hurt, because he plays like he's on the show Jackass. Anyway, so you got Deebo, you got Terry McLaurin holding in, and he wants like $33 million. He wants like just under like Jefferson Chase numbers, and I think he should dial it back just a little. I think they definitely should pay him after everything he had to put up with, the horrible quarterback play and just getting through it ever so nicely, consistently showing up for his fantasy owners and the Washington football team. So basically Brian Robinson, I know there's a like undrafted or 7th round running back that's also getting some hype. I think it's Krosky Merritt. He has got a hyphenated last name. He might be something. I don't see it. I've watched the highlight tape. I really don't see it or understand the hype there. But I think it's Brian Robinson's backfield, and we'll see what happens from there. Zach Ertz is still out there. Still, that safety blanket for Jaden Daniels. And I think Jaden Daniels is also a top 5, fantasy quarterback. You're very excited to get him. He might be like that number 5 or 6. So very excited in that. And other than that, not a whole lot. It's pretty much the same team, I think. So that's it.
Yeah, I don't. It's like with Philadelphia, we were like, oh, it's pretty much the same team. Cool, that was a good team. With like Washington, you're like, it's pretty much the same team, and you're like, cool, that was an all right team. So I'm not as excited that their big addition was KJ Osborne and Deebo. Like that doesn't get me too excited. And Brian Robinson has always been a meh back, not a meh, a meh. So he's always been a meh back, and then Austin Eckler's like getting older and more injury prone and tired. So yeah, I mean you're excited for Jaden Daniels. I think he's gonna have to like lift a little heavier this year because like people saw him last year. They didn't make crazy upgrades. So yeah, does Matt have like Terry news?
He went to practice there.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's all over X. So he hears it there first and shares it with us. So, but yeah, I mean, Deebo Samuel, they do design those gadget plays for him. It's great for the couple weeks he's healthy. So we'll see what happens there. But we forgot to give our predictions for how things would shake out with the AFC East and the NFC East. So I gotta go back and think on it. But let's do the NFC since they're fresh on our minds.
We're gonna go. I think they probably finished similar to last year. Eagles, Commanders, Cowgirls, and Giants.
Yeah, I guess I'll put Eagles, Cowboys, Washington, Giants.
I almost did that. I'm gonna go Eagles, but I'm gonna go with what people did. Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. So just I don't know. I think Eagles just run it back in that division. Commanders will be there, but they got to stay healthy. I think health is the main thing with the Commanders. Cowboys are tempting to see if they do make that. I mean, I feel like we were more excited about the Cowboys than the Commanders, but like Commanders will probably win more real football games.
Then AFC, Bills, Dolphins, Pats, and Jets. And quite frankly, I don't see how the Bills lose this division. I see it Bills, Pats, Dolphins, Jets.
Ooh, that's how I have it exactly. I don't know how they finished last year.
Yeah,
I think it was Bills, Dolphins. Ooh, I have to look it up.
Yeah, I'm going. I think we're all in agreement there. Bills, Pats, Dolphins, Jets. Also, Pats did add. I think the Patriots added some good playmakers in their rookies. I think they killed their draft. I think they were my favorite. Like them and maybe the Raiders, I think had the best drafts out of everyone. Just with the offensive firepower that they did add, it's exciting. I think Travion Henderson is going to be a real game changer, and be on the lookout for Mr. Kyle Williams. So with that being said, and also Mike Vrabel, they got a better coach. I want to see what he does if he brings out some of that magic, because the Titans were pretty good with him, considering what they had. And I think that this Patriots team is more talented than anything the Titans have ever had.
We have ourselves a new segment here, boys. We're discussing this. Inevitably, someone will get injured every week. That's just the game we play. So, as part of a weekly update, now that we have officially started practice, we're going to have a new segment called Peeps Prayers. This week's leader is a guy by the name of Traylon Burks. Do you guys remember who A.J. Brown was? Of course. Well, this is the opposite of what he is, because he was traded before. And man hasn't played a full season, been injured nonstop, picked first round, 18th overall, injured collarbone, and got waived. Basically, this is the segment where we say RIP. You didn't die, but you died basically in football. So, rest in prayer, Traylon Burks, wherever you end up, and say a quick prayer for that.
And Traylon, I mean, prayers up, bud. So glad you're gone. But anyway, hopefully you can get healthy and live a normal life after this. Not on anyone's fancy roster. So Traylon Burks, a couple of fun facts. So he had one touchdown in his whole 3 years with Tennessee. A.J. Brown had 2 Super Bowl appearances. And I saw, I think it was some Titans account on Facebook. They were like, let's look at Traylon Burks' one touchdown, and he scored the touchdown, and then he got hurt. He was injured like right after he scored it, and I was like, what would be his touchdown highlight? He got hurt scoring the touchdown. So anyway, at least he held on to the ball. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
stay healthy.
Didn't he get wrecked during that touchdown?
I think so, yes.
I think it
Yes.
was like a high hit. It was out of his control, but
Yeah.
he would get injured.
Yeah, he went down too. It was brutal, but hopefully stays healthy and after he does whatever he does in his future. So that is all for Peace Prayer this week. So
did y'all see the lump on
Yeah.
Mr. Mayo's shoulder? Yeah. Shoulder lump.
all right. You ready for your Draft Me Daddy section?
Yep.
Yes.
Let's
all right,
play.
we're doing a little different this week here.
Everyone has
These guys are all going about the same as far as your quarterbacks, and arguably second round, depends on how quarterback heavy that your league is. So we're talking just a normal redraft PPR league. I know some of y'all aren't the biggest into drafting quarterbacks early, but if that was your thing, which of these guys are you going for? Because they're, like I said, they're all quite right around that same area that are being drafted.
They're all available at my pick.
Yeah.
I think you have to pick Josh Allen until something else happens. Like, nothing says that he's going to do less. So he's currently QB1, and I think he stays there.
Yeah, give me Josh Allen. Love Lamar Jackson's upside. He's right there. It's a hard choice. That's why we paused for so long. I think it was because it was between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Jaden Daniels has more upside in a dynasty league, just being so young. But yeah, Josh Allen. Give me Josh Allen because he consistently balls out, and also like him and Lamar, Josh Allen has less weapons, I feel.
Yeah.
And
he still gets it done.
He still gets it done. He's awesome.
He puts the team on his back like anyone else. Like, I'm just trying to bolster the stance for this trade that you're trying to get me to do right now is what I'm doing.
Just do it.
All right. Juwan Jennings. So he is going a bit later, mid, early, late is where he's actually going. Based on his performance he had last year without Ayuk, really we don't know what's going on with him this season. So borderline, he's San Francisco's number one wide receiver, depending on how you look at it. Where are you picking him at? Are you taking him if he's available? When I'm drafting, I tend to look for the guys that are still remaining, those guys that when other people are drafting these wide receiver twos, you still have wide receiver ones left. I look towards a guy like Juwan Jennings. Once again, like we discussed earlier with the Eagles, I think situational. But if we get down there in mid-round and I need a wide receiver for a flex position, I would take him personally.
I'd take him. Yeah, I would draft him, Daddy. I don't have. There's no guarantee that Ayuk comes back well. We've gotten so used to like thinking, oh yeah, they're just going to be great. You just stitch them up and it's fine. But there's no guarantee he comes back well. And if the offense is rolling, there's a lot of ifs. But I'm just going to make all the ifs what I want them to be. So if the ifs are McCaffrey's healthy and the offense is rolling, and if Brandon Ayuk isn't stealing all those number one targets, but even if Brandon Ayuk is coming back and looking good, Juwan Jennings is getting the secondary targets like Debo used to get, and maybe he's not as injury prone. So yeah, I would take him.
What it's worth, he did finish as wide receiver 24 last season.
All right. So he was a wide receiver 2 on the back end, and that was like not getting a lot of usage at the beginning of the year. So yeah, I would draft him. I think if there's a receiver that I believe in San Fran, it is Juwan Jennings, Mr. Murfreesboro himself. I think he's a good receiver. I think he's got the most promise. I don't think Brandon Ayuk comes back healthy. I think he's going to be out at least half the season. Ricky Pearsall, I haven't seen enough yet. I do think that offense runs through George Kittle. I think he's a really good pick in like the 5th round if you can get him. If you don't want to pay up for those top end tight ends and you want to settle for that next tier, I think George Kittle is a good one. But Juwan Jennings, I'd definitely take him in the mid to late rounds. Maybe I think I'd feel comfortable around like round 8 or something like that. Just free thinking it without looking at ADP. But I would draft that boy.
I have Ricky Pearsall in our Dynasty League, and I mean the man got shot. Give him a little bit of grace here. He I'm still waiting to see how I've seen flashes of him last year that were encouraging. We'll see what he can do, but obviously with Ayuk out, that brings up more opportunities for him too. So we'll see what that does. But I still think Jennings is the alpha, if you will, of the wide receiver room, not including Kittle.
Oh fuck yeah. Get him on the squad for sure. I'm drafting Chase Brown anywhere I can. I'd take him as early as like early 3rd. I think he's an awesome 3rd round pick. I think and I've heard it several shows. He finished the year, or like the last like half of the season, he was like RB6 or something. And that's like sharing time with shitty Zach Moss for like the first half of the year. So Zach Moss is gone. Zach Moss's ass is grass. It's the Chase Brown show. And also that Bengals defense sucks. Like they did nothing to help, everything to hurt that defense. So they're going to be down. I think he's a diet Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler didn't have crazy athleticism or anything, but he was a PPR monster catching those balls out of the backfield. I think Chase Brown does a good job of that. I think if you go with a heavy wide receiver build in the first 2 rounds, Chase Brown is a very strong play in the 3rd round, and he can anchor your team. Definitely a draft me daddy candidate from me.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And I think if he was like a power back, if he's a Derrick Henry type, whatever, like you wouldn't want him because the Bengals are going to be playing from behind. He's going to become just game scripted out. But because he has that pass catching ability, and I'm not following individual teams enough to like analyze their offensive line. So I don't know if the Bengals have addressed their offensive line. But if they haven't and Joe Burrow is still running for his life, well, there's just more check downs to Chase Brown. So yeah, I like Chase Brown. I'm not worried about Taj Brooks or Samaje Perine like some people are. I think they're going to be role players, but Chase Brown can be on the field 3 snaps and be effective. So yeah, draft me.
What I like most about him is he's going. He's not one of the first running backs taken, so you have to fight for him. I mean, if you've got a pretty good chance of getting him if you want him. That's what I do like about where he's landing in the drafts. He's sitting kind of running back 15, maybe 12, somewhere in that range. So you'll definitely have the option to get him if you want him. Like I said, about 3rd round, maybe late 2nd. So I like everything that the upside he has with that offense. I'm definitely drafting him though.
Yeah,
we got one more here.
And to everyone's point, Coach V was the first person in the world that was in on this man. He was with him before last year. He was, I want to say, his rookie year when he was buried on the depth chart. He believed in him. So Coach knows, and yeah,
wow,
get this money.
So much.
All right, we got one more here for you. Who are you picking? Because these guys are going really close to each other. You have the option to pick either or. Where are you going?
That's tough.
No, it's not meant to be easy, man.
Especially for the doc, because we all know how he feels about Puka. And I think he's conflicted because he doesn't want to say Puka here.
Yeah, I'm trying to look cool. Man, yeah, that's a tough one.
I like BTJ over Puka. BTJ is more durable, or at least in one season he's more durable. He definitely is more of that traditional receiver type who's going to like protect themselves and try to like stay in the game, whereas Puka is going to just do whatever's possible and possibly get hurt. And then also, I think the Jaguars are going to be taking that step in a positive direction this year, and the pie is going to get bigger for BTJ with the addition of hopefully Travis Hunter taking some heat away from BTJ, but also adding elements to the offense, keep the defense on their toes, and open up more stuff for BTJ.
You know what?
Doc, if you need a second to think, I have my decision.
Go.
I'm going for Puka because you have the new regime, coaching staff with the Jags. Don't really know what's going on with that yet. Puka, we have Stafford still quarterback. Really, Puka's the dude. Obviously, we're not sharing with Devontae Adams out there, but I don't think personally that's going to take away from his share and his natural ability that he does have. In the heads-to-head, I'm going to pick Puka in this instance. I can see the argument from both ways, though.
Yeah, this is probably the hardest this or that we've had on the show.
I think it's the first.
Yeah, so it's the hardest and the easiest. So yeah, I think it depends on the day for me. I will pick one. I'll
Okay,
take
go Tuesday. Pick on a Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a Brian Thomas Tuesday. So and then but yeah, if it's a Friday night, Puka Nakua all day. So it depends on how I'm feeling. But yeah, I kind of I don't know. I think BTJ for now, because Puka does play like a little bit of a jackass, and he's always just like, hey, check out this, and just doing different stunts and things like that. I love that he's a focal point of the offense. He does have Devontae Adams there, which I think that they do only help each other. I think BTJ, he finished wide receiver, I think 4 or 5 last year, 4, I think. So, it's I think he's the focal point of that offense. You have Travis Hunter there that's gonna maybe free up some more for BTJ. So right now I'd go BTJ, but that can always change on draft day. It really depends on how I'm feeling. But yeah, it's truly a toss up at that point.
Looks like Matt's going BTJ, but I think we knew that one.
Yeah.
It's a good pick though, just because like I said, these guys are going back to back in some instances, and you'll have the chance to get either one of those guys, and they're both young studs. So that's why I like the comparison.
That's right.
That was a nice draft, me daddy. Oh wow! Hold on, we have to blur that. That is X-rated. Speaking of X things, we have to announce our new stuff that we have. Yeah. So go ahead, Doc. You know more about this.
Yeah. So we made a recent hire on the staff. We hired our boy Weeman, and anyway, he is now our social media manager because we're not very active on social media, but we are now officially on YouTube, Discord, Facebook, and X. We don't run those accounts, but we are on the Discord, so connect with us there. It's free to join. We'd love to continue conversations from all of our podcast episodes. I know I've been considering doing some solo episodes in between our live streams, just to have more content out there. That'll be not a live stream, but something that I might be working on. But yeah, we'd love to continue the conversation on Discord. We put it in the comments section, so make sure that you join and follow us on X, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And right now, there are 5 things that you need to do before we leave. So who wants to go over those?
I think it's your turn.
Oh, it is. So, yeah, there's 5 things that you need to do. Make sure that you always live, laugh, love, like, and subscribe. Fifth Quarter Fantasy.